I want to take you through the Excel sheet on how to do grading, clustering of grading. That is, assume that you have students in your class that are doing 10 subject, 9 subjects, but you use 7 as cluster subject for each and every student to know the points the student has. Because we know that the highest in our system is 84 points, that is 12 times 7, which gives you 84. And therefore you need to know how many points the student has scored. So assume that you have been given the KCSE sheet, and then you copy now the grades for each and every student. Like if I have my students here, I have the class they are in, that is the form and the class. We have east, west, and the south in our cases. Now you talk about now the grade and the point. This is the overall grade and this is the overall points. Now if you first of all need to populate the sheet with the grades that the students have scored. For instance, I want a student, for instance, to score P+, or the subject he has done, he has scored P+, and that is 10 points. Remember 10 times 7, so the overall will be 70 points, which is a P+. So assume my student is doing, he has done all this, just populate it. He has done all these subjects up to maths, then he is doing physics and not biology. If he's doing physics and not biology, in my case, I'm doing specifically for at least for a student doing 2 sciences and not more than 2 sciences, because I want to arrange the first 5 compulsory. I'll do for another case where a school might be allowing students to do 3 sciences. That is another case that I'll do for another tutorial. But for now, I'm doing for a case where schools allow students to do at least 2. That is to do 2 sciences, meaning that maybe chemistry is compulsory and another 2, and the picks from physics and biology 1. So in this case, you just have all the 5 that will be compulsory now. That is the first 3, maths, English, Kiswahili, and then 2 sciences, that will make 5. So those will be compulsory. Then you will be picking from another 2 that will be highly performed. So we shall have all these up to chemistry. We must have at least 2 sciences. So we have physics and no biology. Then we shall have chemistry done, which is a P+. And then from there, we can have this student doing maybe geography scores still a P+. Then he does also, let's say, he does CRE, in our case is compulsory, he also scores a P+. He also scores a P+ in this CRE. He also scores a P+ in this CRE. He also scores a P+ in this CRE. He also scores this CRE B+. Then he is also doing business studies, and he also scores B+. So we assume those are the subjects he's doing, and if you count, these are 8 subjects, so we need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are 8 subjects, and we need it to grade 7, so to give 70, because if it grades all of them, it will give you 80. Now, what you do, after populating everything, remember the grading if you have the grade to get the points, you use the if function. You use the if function. For instance, let me just, like this one I've done, to get these 9 points, I use if. You talk if function. We are grading this B, which is in K5 in this case. So if K5 is equal to A, if it is A plane, in quotes should be comma 12. Remember, quotes is the A plane because A plane is a text and the 12 is a number, should not have the quotes. So comma, remember, if you miss this comma, you'll have a syntax error, and therefore it will not work. Comma, then you start if. Again, you repeat K5 equals to A minus, in quotes, comma 11, comma if. You repeat the same up to a D minus, then at the D minus, comma 2, comma, you will not start if because it's the last one. You say comma 1. That is means otherwise it is a 1. If it is not 2 and above, then it is a 1. Or for you to make your work easier, so that you will not be having you can talk about the if again, so that you have otherwise 0, meaning that if it's not an e, it should give a 0, so that to avoid, when you are dragging, to avoid it giving a 1, because if it gives a 1, total points will be a problem. And therefore I can the one where there's a plank, like students not doing biology, so it will give a 1 there where there's a plank instead of a 0, and if it gives a 1 will count as the total points. And therefore just have the if again, just have the if of the comma, talk about if again, if, just have the bracket, just have the opening bracket, then talk about if again. I was talking about k5, if k5 is equal to, if k5 is equal to e, in this case we are talking about e. If k5 is equal to, in quotes, e, you cross the quotes, in quotes e, cross the quotes, comma, then should be a 1. After 1 you also have a comma, and then after having a comma you now say otherwise is 0, so we shall have 0. Then from there, remember I've added one opening, so I'll have to end with another one. I'll have to end with another bracket. I'll have to add another bracket. Now you realize that I changed this one for the sake of 0, so that if I drag, where there is a plank it is a 0, where there is a plank it gives a 0 and not a 1. If I remained with the 1, then where there was a plank it could have given a 1. So ensure you do that. So after doing that, now you have you can have all the students, then you drag, you'll get all the points for all subject. Then from there, after getting the points, so I can now copy this one. I have it pasted here. I have it pasted for all my subjects, or just you dragged all of them. If you dragged all of them, it was okay. It could reflect. It could give you all the points. If you dragged all of them, then you could be at a better position. So in this case, I'm done with this student with all the points. Now I need to do the grading to give me the total points here. I need to know the total points so that I do the grading. So to know the total points, I want this system to be able to select 7 subjects out of 8, or even out of 9, or even out of 10 to select only 7. So what you do in this case, you use the sum. You say equals 2, because I needed to do the sum of those points, equals 2. You say it is sum. I wanted to do the sum from I wanted to do this sum. This is from here, that is from edge 6, to continue with the compulsory ones is up to chemistry. So colon, you have the colon there. From there, after having the colon, you continue up to chemistry is up to this point. That is H6 to R6. You cross that bracket. Then plus, we need to add again the sum. You need to add now the sum from the sum. Remember, I'm doing the sum of the larger. It needs to pick the sum of the larger 2 because already I have 5 of the large. sum of large is written as that. It is large only 2 from where to where? Large, it is large from it is going to do the large from S, that is from even if you start from here, even if you start from T, this where the points are, from this point, colon, so we need to have the colon there, from T that, and then you continue up to, it needs to find from here up to the last subject, for your case the last subject, that is up to this point. It has to pick up to that point, so up to that point, AD6, then after that we have a comma, but it has to pick only 2, so the first 2, so it is you have to opening this bracket, use this bracket, use this kind of bracket, then you say 1, 2, it has to pick only 2, then you have to have those crossing bracket, that one, then you cross 2 of them, because you have opened the 2 that you have not crossed, you cross 2 of them, that is 1, 2. After crossing 2, if I press enter, it has given me 70 points. So this is the number of points the student has, 70 points. And if you do that for another, so if I drag like this one has B, all of them B, had populated B for these students. So if I drag here, I drag upwards or downwards to all other students, the formula will apply. If I drag upwards, yeah, you see it gives this student 63. So I can populate for another one and have the points also, and then see whether it will apply. You can let's have an A minus, that gives 77 points. If I have an A minus, like all of them A minus, if I copy in this case, I copy, this student is having A minuses. If I copy for all, he's not doing physics, he's doing biology. If I copy for all, and then he's also doing chemistry. If I copy for all, he's doing history. The student is doing business, and he's also doing CRE here. Now if you have all those, now you can drag this for the points. Now for the points, if I drag this for the points, if I drag this for the points, if I drag this one already there, yeah, if I drag this one for the points, like if I drag, yes, I drag this for the points, this one, it was history, the points were not there here. Then I also have I can also have the points there. If I drag this one for the points, just drag. Now those are 11 subject, 8 subject, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, that is yeah, 6, 7, and 8. These are 8 subjects. If I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now 8 subjects, that will give you, if I drag this one, it should give me 77. If I drag this one, should give me, it was supposed to give me 77 unless this one 2, 3, 4, 5, the compulsory 5. There is one I'm missing, the points 5. This one I was missing the points here. That is why it did not work. I missed the points here. I did not put the points. Should give me 77. Yes, that's where I did not put the points. If you miss, it will not work. That's why I said just have the one with 0 so that you drag all of them. Whoever is not doing the subject, it will indicate 0. And if you have done that, it gives you the points. So that is the simplest way of doing it. If you are doing, if the 3 sciences were compulsory in a school, or a situation where the 3 sciences could be done, then that means that is a different tutorial that I'm going to give in a different scenario. Now grading is also very simple here. If you need now to know the grading, grading of this, if I use this, if I use this, I copy it and place it here, so that I place it here. Now in this case I'm talking about I want to grade F. If I want to grade F, I have to change here F to F. If F2, I need to change to F2. F2 is now we are talking about the points. Now in this case it's points, then so it will be vice versa. The quotes will be on the grade. So it is 81 and above is equal, is we say is now in this case it's not just equal, but it's greater or equal to. So we talk about F2 is greater. So in this case we talk about greater or equal to, greater or equal to. Remember the first one is usually 81 and above. That is where the A is, comma. Then now we talk about is the one with the quotes. So it will be A, and that is, it will be in quotes A. It will be in quotes A. So it is a vice versa. It's a vice versa scenario in this case. So you continue with this same. You continue the same. You change is greater or equal to. So it's good that if I can delete all these other ones, so that I do now for. Now I do for the rest. So that is anyway another tutorial for another time to get the grading. So you do that up to the end, you'll be able to get the grade for each. The grade now the student scored. You'll be able to get the grade each student scored. So that is the simplest way of doing the clustering. Thank you for listening to my tutorials, and ensure you subscribe for more details. Thank you.